back to Just a Guy Reviews. I'm Matt Sula, and today's special presentation is Godzilla Minus One, the first Japanese iteration of the giant monster since 2016's Shin Godzilla, which was also a great movie. Would love to note that. This movie was directed by Takashi Yamazaki and stars a bunch of Japanese actors that I don't know. I would attempt to go through most of their names, but I know I'm just going to butcher them. So I really just want to get into the bulk of the movie, which has a brilliant, just I think absolutely brilliant description. Japan is already devastated by the war when a new crisis emerges in the form of a giant monster. This movie takes place pretty much. I think it starts in the middle of World War II, like 1947, I want to say, something along there, maybe 52. I honestly don't remember, but it follows the life of a Japanese kamikaze pilot who basically abandons his mission, doesn't go through with it, thinks the war is nonsense, and just goes home instead of going along with his mission. Already probably the most interesting little wrinkle that a human has ever had in a Godzilla film. Uh, it really adds to the human element of this movie because if there's one thing that Godzilla movies were never good at, it is making you care about the humans at all. This movie makes you care about almost every single character. They're likable, their backstories are perfect, everything about it. So this guy, he's goes home. His city, I don't remember the exact city that this takes place. It's not Tokyo. Uh, I don't really remember, but it's devastated by the war. It's been bombed like twice over. And he goes home. People are basically, when they find out that he was supposed to be a kamikaze pilot, they're calling him a disgrace. He failed his country. It's people like him why millions upon millions more are dead. It's such a good wrinkle to have this be set in the original time period because this is basically a reboot of Godzilla. It's not watching Godzilla versus Ghidorah where he's already been around and they basically just having him fight other monsters. This is purely like Godzilla is an pretty much an allegory for nuclear warfare and how uh, bombings with radiation created this giant monster, and now this giant monster is back to cause as much destruction as a bomb ever did. But this is my favorite movie of the year so far because it not only do you just get like the great message, the anti-war stuff, how the Japanese government was acting during war, how they didn't give a shit about any of their civilians. All they wanted was war, war. We have to show how strong we are and everything. And then you have Godzilla, who comes along, just destroying everything in sight. Personally, my favorite atomic breath that they've ever done with Godzilla. I'll just say no. This is my favorite Godzilla movie ever made. It's it even shows. I think most people agree with that. Whether you want to give it to the original because it's the original, I get your point, but I think far and away, just like with technology, the way Godzilla looks, he's still like the same message. This is easily, in my opinion, the best Godzilla movie, and it shows with all the scores. Like you go to Rotten Tomatoes, the audience score is a 98, the critic score is a 97. Letterboxed, I think 4.2 out of 5, 8.5 on IMDb. Like everyone that sees this movie loves this movie because it's perfect. It has the weight of the humans and the meaning that a bunch of, people who are too good for a monster movie love. But then it also has the cinematic visuals and destruction of a Godzilla movie. It's the best of both worlds. It's also very nice that this not nice, but like it's very apropos that this movie came out the same year as Oppenheimer, the movie about the creation of the atomic bomb and the effect that it had, at least on Oppenheimer, and then what we know that it had on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And then in this canon, it leads to the creation of this giant monster that destroys the city yet again, or the country yet again. And then, because for the most part, movies do need to be tied up in a little bow, even though uh, Godzilla's just different. Like, I know I've harped in the past, like, on the Marvels. Like, it's just, it's so formulaic, you know exactly what's going to happen. There's never actually like, any danger, per se, because you know that they're just going to beat the bad guy. In Godzilla, yeah, generally they end up just beating the bad guy in this. It's just going to be like a how do they stop Godzilla thing. But that doesn't take away the fact that, like, Godzilla comes out of the water, he kills thousands. Like, people's lives have been lost in this movie, which is something that the Marvels, like, someone just basically says they're going to do something. They do a very small amount. Like, you don't actually really see how the destruction has affected anyone, and, like, then it's just over. Here, they do a nice job of showing, like, PTSD of war, and, like, it's I can only say everything about it is perfect. Like I said, this is my favorite movie of the year. I understand if you want something a little more nuanced, or something just like a little more like up for interpretation if that's your style. But if you are someone who enjoys going to the movies and being entertained, this movie it's 2 hours long. It's not that bad. It needs every minute. At no point did I feel like it was long in the tooth. I think this is literally a movie for anyone, as long as you can deal with it being in Japanese, because I don't think they have created a dubbed version for it yet. But in my opinion, you should watch it in Japanese and just go with the subtitles, because you're not going to get the same raw emotion that you get from these performances, as well as, you're just going to see their mouths moving and it doesn't match what they're saying, which always bothers the shit out of me. But yeah, again, I mean, my favorite movie of the year. Everyone else doesn't necessarily agree, but it's almost unanimous that this is a great movie. And it comes out while Godzilla has Monarch Legacy of Monsters on Apple TV, as well as in April, we're getting Godzilla versus Kong, The New Empire, which is the exact opposite of this movie. It already looks very campy. It's very Americanized, where it's like, oh, actually not even Americanized. It's like the old Toho versions. I think it's Toho. I know they did the original, but then they went on to do Godzilla versus Mothra, Godzilla versus Ghidorah, Godzilla versus Space Godzilla. Like, this is the fun side of Godzilla for the new Empire that's coming out. He's teaming up with King Kong, to go take on other kaijus. And then you get this. You get the best of both worlds at the moment. It's never been a better time to be a Godzilla fan. Like I said, my favorite movie of the year. It's only the, like, 20 something movie I'm ever giving 100 out of 100 to. I legitimately think this is a perfect movie in every way, shape, and form. Whether you want to, like, say, oh, it didn't look that great here, it had a budget less than $15 million. It costs less. It costs like a tenth of, like, what the last episode of Game of Thrones was, or every episode in the last season, and it looks better. I recommend everyone go see this movie. Watch it in Japanese. Watch it with the subtitles. You're not gonna regret it. Favorite movie of the year, 100 out of 100. But that'll be it for me, guys. Once again, I'm Matsula. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like the video and subscribe. Please, does help out a lot. But that'll be it for me. Till next time. See ya.